Thank you for stopping by to listen to my dad, Larry Witcher, otherwise known as the Professor of Useless Knowledge. I hope you enjoy it.
Okay, let's get the professor in here. Come on in, Larry.
I'm coming in, Julio.
Yeah, you doing okay this morning?
Yeah, sure am.
Yeah, good.
I'm going to try to get through it without coughing. My old coughing spell come back from, I guess I had a real, just a autumn cold or something, but it put me out of commission for over 2 weeks.
I know. I've had the sniffles, and I've had the drainage, sinus drainage. Some kind of allergy, some kind of something kicks it up every year about this time.
There's something going around, but you speaking about Camel cigarettes, you and Joel.
Oh, yeah.
My mother-in-law, Miss Faye's mama.
Yeah.
Bless her heart, she smoked Camel cigarettes. And Julio, my mama, she enjoyed smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
And she'd get out of a cigarette.
Yeah.
And see now, Miss Faye had 13 brothers and sisters beside her. There was 14 of them in all.
This was Miss Faye's mama?
Miss Faye's mama.
Okay.
And when she run out of a Camel cigarette, you ought to have seen them young'uns running up and down the road headed to the store to get her another pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Now, she was always nice to me, but I was told that she could get real mean when she run out of Camel cigarettes.
I bet.
And we spoke a little bit about the armadillo. Every time we talk about some subject like that, everywhere I go, it's an armadillo.
Yeah.
And how can you get rid of them?
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to get rid of them, Julio, because they live up to 15 years, and they can have the mama armadillo can have as many as 54 babies in her lifetime.
Oh gosh.
And it's hard though. They mate early, Julio.
Yeah.
Then the egg lays dormant until she gets ready.
Oh.
Then that egg will split in 4 parts, and she'll have 4 babies every time.
Oh.
Either boys or girls, never a mixed litter.
Never.
That's the only mammal in this world that does that.
Okay.
And of course, they're also used in research for leprosy.
Yeah.
They have a body temperature of about 93, so they can grow the leprosy. They can use them for research for leprosy.
Oh.
And they love to swim, Julio.
I didn't know that.
Well, they do that for crossing a little creek. They'll walk up to the little creek. Now, they got a pretty smart head. The little creek, if it's short enough, they just walk in the water, walk under the water, and back out on the other bank.
Yeah.
But if it's too wide to walk under, they'll inflate their intestines by gulping air, because they're heavy with that armored shield, and that helps them to float across, to swim across the river.
I never heard such.
Now, if you get one in a hole...
Sound like we're describing an animal from outer space here.
It does. Well, they were called the Indian monster at one time, and also known, too, as the Hoover hog.
Hoover hog.
Hoover hog. I won't give you that one in just a minute. Now, if you plan to use one for a pet,
all right,
you better check with your state regulations, because they probably won't let you have an animal for a pet. But old King George II, on July the 31st, 1728, I remember it well, was given an armadillo as a pet. And he kept it happy by feeding it hard-boiled eggs.
Oh, good Lord.
But if you're going to... the Hoover hog, it got its title there when Herbert Hoover, they laid the blame on old Herbert Hoover for the Depression, and the people who eat the armadillo referred to it as a Hoover hog.
Yeah.
Now they claim, and I have not eaten an armadillo, they claim that it tastes very much like pork, and that it barbecues well.
Well, listen, there's not going to be nothing I'm going to eat that may have leprosy. I just don't understand.
Well, they said you don't skin him if you got a cut on your hand.
Oh.
But then you cook him well done.
Yeah.
And the claim is very tasty. And they called him the Hoover hog because Mr. Herbert Hoover, he promised everybody a chicken in every pot. Well, when he didn't deliver that, they started eating armadillos.
Yeah.
And referred to him as a Hoover hog.
My daddy always wanted to stop years ago when they first got into this area. You saw a few of them here in Yonder. But my daddy always wanted to stop and get one if he saw him run over in the road. And he would tell some of the help that was, maybe in the truck or something. He'd say, we ought to stop and get that thing. And they'd say, we ain't gonna fool with that thing, Rip. And he'd say, well, you can make a hat out of it. You can make you a helmet out of it. Daddy was always fascinated with those things. But I don't know that he ever stopped and got one. Well, but he was always gonna make a hat out of it.
Well, now, they have very poor eyesight. That's the reason so many of them get run over, Julio.
Okay.
They say they are really not run over. The car passes over them.
Okay.
And their eyesight is so poor, they jump up and hit underneath the car.
Okay.
And that's what killed them. But
that's happened to you a time or two, hasn't it, Joe?
Oh, yeah.
But you can't eat him, Joel. You can stop and get him and eat him, and then you could get on the radio and be the only one in this listening area that could describe what armadillo meat tastes like.
Yeah, I'm with Julio. I don't want to risk a leprosy chance.
Well, you eat deer, and they got all this stuff. They could give you some. You're supposed to eat it cooked, real done. So,
yeah.
But I'm gonna leave that. We'll assign Joel Julio of sampling the armadillo for us.
Yeah, I'd like for him to tell us. I
always get the fun jobs.
Yeah, sure you do. But that's why this is a fun show. Come on.
Well, we'll see y'all then tomorrow.
Okay, and, Larry.
But that now you know the facts of the armadillo.
We know it now. Okay. All right, Larry. Thanks
see you
a
come
lot.
Tomorrow.
Appreciate you here. Okay.
Yes, sir.
See you tomorrow. There you go. That's a professor of useless knowledge. That's Larry Witcher.